Show here are some examples of battles between the British and the French in India where the British were supported by indigenous Indians. Battle of Arcot, 1751. The Battle of Arcot was a key turning point in the Carnatic Wars, a series of conflicts between the British and the French in southern India. The British were outnumbered and outgunned by the French, but they were able to win the battle with the help of their Indian allies, including the Nawab of Arcot and the Maratha ruler Shivaji Maharaj. The victory at Arcot helped to establish the British as the dominant European power in southern India. Battle of Plassey, 1757. The Battle of Plassey was another key turning point in the British conquest of India. The British were led by Robert Clive, and they were supported by their Indian allies, including the Mir Jafar, the Nawab of Bengal. The British defeated the French and their Indian allies, and this victory gave the British control of Bengal, the richest province in India. Siege of Pondicherry, 1760–1761. Pondicherry was the French capital in India, and it was a major port city. In 1760, the British launched a siege of Pondicherry. The siege lasted for over a year, and the British eventually captured the city in 1761. The capture of Pondicherry marked the end of French rule in India. In all of these cases, the indigenous Indian rulers allied themselves with the British against the French because they saw the British as a lesser evil. The French had a long history of violence and exploitation against the Indian people. The British, on the other hand, were less likely to engage in such violence and exploitation. The British also promised the Indian rulers that they would respect their autonomy and culture. It is important to note that the relationship between the British and the indigenous Indian population was complex and often contradictory. While some indigenous Indian rulers did support the British against the French, many others were opposed to the British presence in India. The British East India Company's economic policies and cultural imperialism led to a great deal of resentment and anger among the Indian people. This resentment eventually erupted in the Indian Rebellion of 1857, which marked the beginning of the end of British rule in India. I hope this information is helpful. Please let me know if you have any other questions.